Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing pretty well. Now this is Unit 5, Class 4. So far you have been teaching the students about numbers, then you have taught them about the additions, then subtraction. Now here in this class you are going to taught them how you should go for the multiplication. Now the multiplication is a kind of multiply. That means a number would be multiplied by other numbers. And we get a multiplication from the result, like that total amount that is required. The first example, it is saying that we want to give the children candies. We have 3 children and we want to give each of them 2 candies. So the basic here, we want to know how many candies we are going to need to distribute these 2 candies each students. Yeah, so 3 students, they are getting 2 candies each. So how many candies we're going to need? It would be 3 multiplied 2. The symbol should be look like this. You can see on the screen, 3 multiplied 2. Now on is multiplier here, another one is the base number. Now here 3 is the base number and the 2 candies that we are giving to each student, that is our multiplier. So 3 is being multiplied by 2. Go to the second example. Now look at it. Just assume we 4 people including me and 3 of you. We are 4 people and we are sitting for a tea. Now we have decided that we would like to have 2 cookies, or in other words you could say biscuits. Yeah, 2 cookies or biscuits with the tea. Now we are 4 people. How many cookies we are going to need? That is 4 multiplied by 2. Yeah, just showing in the screen. Here 4 is the base number and your multiplier is 2. How many cookies we are going to have? 2. So the multiplier is 2. If we decided to have 3 cookies, then the multiplier would have been 3. Like 4 times 3. Now here this multiplication, it could be considered in the terms of terms or multiply. We could say multiply or times. If we say 4 times 3 or 4 multiplied by 3, they are the same thing. Make sure the student learn this term. One is multiply and the one is times. Now, there are several ways of doing this multiplication. And in this class, you are going to teach all the students all these methods that we are going to show you. The very first method is the multiplication as adding on. Yeah, just like the addition you have taught them, following that method, we could do the multiplication. Now, how we could do it? Yeah. For example, we want to give 2 strawberries to 3 people. How many strawberries? 2 strawberries. So what is the multiplier here? The multiplier is 2. And we're going to distribute it to 3 people. So base number is 3. 3 multiplies 2. What should be the answer? The answer should be 2 3 times, like 2 plus 2 plus 2. The base multiplier, you are just multiplying or adding the times of base number. That means if you are multiplying 5, that means your multiplier is 5 and your base number is 3. That means 5, 3. That means 3 times 5. What is your multiplier? Multiplier is 5 and the base number is 3. And how you could get it? Like 5 plus 5 plus 5. That means the base number is the time. So 5 is your multiplier. You just add the multiplier with the time or amounts of your base number. If you are actually distributing this multiplier, things like you have got 5 multipliers and your base number is 4, means 4 times 5. How are you going to do it? 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20. Now this is how you could do it. I hope you are pretty much clear about this adding method. If you're still not clear, you could raise some question. The next section, you could do it using arrays. Now, what are arrays? Arrays are lines. There are different lines, means a set of numbers. Arrays are the rows and as well as the columns. That means how many rows you have or how many numbers you have in your rows and how many columns you have in your multiplication, you just add them together. Such as 3 times 2. It would always give you the same answer, or 2 times 3. However you are finding the answer, it should always remain the same. This is arrays. Look into the definition and it is given there. This is the definition of arrays. For example, look at this very first picture. What you can see? We can see a box and there are 6 eggs in the box. You can see the box is horizontal. Here, if you look, there are 3 columns and each columns there are 2 eggs. So you could look like this, 2, 2, 2. This is 6. So this is what called arrays. Each 2 eggs is considered as an array. The column is your base array. How many array you have? You have 3 array. Now this 3 times 2 equals 6. It's just the basic of the same thing we talked about, the addition in the first section. Yeah, this is how exactly the same way you are counting, but teach the student these are known as arrays. The main objective of this section is to teach them these are known as arrays, a same line, the same pattern or the same group, they are known as arrays. Similar characteristics, usually we could call it as arrays. Now go to the next picture. The same eggs. Now we can look into the eggs from the above. What you can see? You can either see there are 3 eggs in each column. Yeah. So here 3 eggs in each column. And how many columns we have? We have 2 columns. Now what is the size of array? We have 2 arrays. How many arrays? 2 arrays. And each array has got 3 eggs. So what is the answer we're going to get? We're going to get 3 times 2 equals 6. Look at this. 2 times 3 equals 6 and 3 times 2 equals 6. They will always give us the same number. The answer would always be the same. So however is the position of the numbers, it doesn't affect the result at all. Just like the addition, we could add 7 plus 2 or 2 plus 7, we would still get the same answer, 9. It's the same. Go through the next picture. Look at this. How many cakes you can see? These are cupcakes actually. So there are 3 cupcakes in each row. Yeah, there are 3 rows. And how many cakes you can see? There are 4 cakes in each row. So 3 times 4, or in other words you could say 3 cakes in each column, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 column. So the output or the result would be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which would give us 12, or 4 plus 4 plus 4. Now either way you could make the array. If you made 3 as your multiplier, you would have to add 4, 3 together. Or if you make 4 as your multiplier, you need to add 3, 4 together. 4 plus 4 plus 4. That's how you get the answer. Go through the next one. Yeah, what you can see, it's got 5 times 3. So each column I have got 3 boxes. These boxes, they are usually used to make something or keep something here. Right. So in each column you have got 3 dots or 3 boxes. Now how many arrays you have? You have 5 arrays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows are my arrays. That means 5 times how many arrays you have? You have 3 arrays. 5 times 3. You just count it on, you will get the answer 15. Go the next one. 5 times 2. So you have got 2 and you have got 5 here. In the rows you have got 5. So what is your array size? The array is 5 and your column or times you are multiplying it with 2. Next one is a chocolate bar. It has got 8 times 2. That means in the column you have got 2 segments. Yeah, you have got a very smaller portion of 2 dotted 2 blocks. So how many blocks you have got? There are 8 blocks now. 8 times 2 or 2 times 8, you would get 16. This is how you should teach the student how they should think about multiplication. Well, the basic objective of this class is not to teach them multiplication to the whole, because there are some other things that would help them learning the basic multiplication. You just help them learning the arrays and the methodology of multiplication, like how they could find out the answer. That is the main objective here in this class. Now, look at this table of place value. Unit value, if you put something in the unit value, that means if we put 2, the value of 2 in the unit value is actually 2. Now, if you have got 2 in the tens value, you get 2 lots of 10. That means that would be 2 times 10 equals 20. If you put 2 in the hundreds row, that means you have got 2 lots of 100. It would be 2 into 100 equals 200. If you put that 2 in the thousands place, that would be 2 lots of thousands. That means 2000s. Now, let me elaborate this whole place value thing into a practical example. For example, you all would recognize the taka. Yeah, as you are living in Bangladesh at the moment, so you guys are using Bangladeshi taka. Yes? Now, for example, if I give you a 2 taka note, how many taka you have? You have only 2 taka. That is the unit value. Now, if I give you 2 notes of 10 taka, how many taka you have now? You have got 2 times 10. You have got 20 taka total. Similarly, if I give you 2 notes of 100 taka, how many taka you have in total? You will have 200 taka in total. Now, if I give you 2 notes of 1000 taka, yeah, you already have seen the notes of 1000 taka, right? So, if I give you 2 notes of it, how much you would get? You will have 2000 taka. Do you understand it now? I hope this would make the thing clear to you. Yeah, this is the multiplication using the place value. Now, go to the next section. This is multiplication. This is actual multiplication. That's how the students or we all do the multiplication, right? For example, there are 4 benches in the class and 3 students can sit on each bench. So how many students you can have in the class, or we have in the class? So that would be 4 times 3. That means there are 4 rows and 3 students. Now, this is the way you could find out, right? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. you just add 4 times of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times you're adding 3? 4 times. So what should be the answer? 3 plus 3 means 4, 5, 6. Then 6 plus 3 equal to 7, 8, 9. Then 9 plus 3 equal to 10, 11, 12. So that would be the answer. You just teach the students using this method, right? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So what do you get? 3 plus 3 equals 6. That means 3, 4, 5, 6. Then add 3 with 6. 7, 8, 9. Then 9. After 9, what do we get? 10. 10, 11, 12. This is how we get the number 12. That means 3 times 4 equals 12. We can write this calculation using this format: 3 multiplied by 4. This cross is known as the multiplication sign, right? This is the multiplication or multiple sign. So 3 multiplied by 4. 3 multiplied by 4 equals 12. If you want to speak it in English, we usually speak it this way: 3 multiplied by 4 equals 12. 3 multiplied by 4 equals 12. This is how the student should learn, and we are coming into that in the next section. So number of the objects, how many? This look at this 3. 3 is the number of object in each group, or you could say this is the array. How many group you have? There are 4 groups. That means you have got 4 bench. Yeah, number of arrays. So how many number of arrays we have? We have 4 arrays. That means 3 multiplied by 4. Then we get the total number or total value or total number of objects we can hold or we have already. I hope you guys are pretty much clear. Let me recap the whole 3 methods together. The very first one, you are teaching them the adding version, like 3 plus 3 plus 3. That means 3 times 3 or 3 multiplied by 3. We get 9. How? 3 plus 3 plus 3. We get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is how you do the multiplication. Then we come to the place value. We have got unit value, we have got tens value, we have got hundreds value, and we have got thousands value. Just remember the example of Taka. Taka notes would be the best example of using place value. Another one was arrays. Now, what was the array? Array is a set in which you have got a particular amount of number. Now, you multiply an array with the number of arrays within the whole set or whole objects. Yeah, can you remember all these pictures? In arrays, you could say in an array there would be 3 objects, and how many arrays you have? For example, you have got 4 objects or 4 arrays total. That would be 3 times 4 equals 12. Now here on is your multiplier. Which one is the number of arrays or your multiplier? Alright, now go to the next section. You can see there are some examples. Look at this picture. What you can see? There are 5 plates, and each plate you have got how many apples? 2 apples. So what should be the answer? How many apples we have in total? 2 times 5. The array is 2. What is the array size? The array size is 2. How many number? What's the number of arrays? It is equals to the number of plates. So how many plates you have? You have 5 plates. So 2 is the array size and the number of array is 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. Do the next one. 4 times dash fishes. So look at this picture. What you can see, there are 4 fishes in each plate. How many plates you can see? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 plates. So what should be the answer? It should be 12, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The student could be able to count the number of the fishes in the plates. Now, this should be the way of introducing the multiplication to the students. Once they understood the basics, make sure they understand all these basics. If they don't understand these basics clearly, this is going to put them in problem in the future. So make sure you're focusing on their future learning. Now, the next one is the main objective of this class. Here you are going to teach them the basics of multiplication. It's known as multiplication table, or you have learned it in your own name or own native tongue. It has got some other name most probably, but I'm pretty sure that you all have learned this. Now you just give them these tables and they should memorize this table of multiplication. Now look at this multiplication table. It has got 1 to 10. All the multiplication, the possible multiplication using 1 to 10, you'd get it here. So students should memorize this word. Strictly ask them to memorize this. That would help them as they understand the basics now, and if they remember all this multiplication table, it would be pretty much easier for them to do the multiplication, even the addition as well. So this is a kind of base of their mathematics. So make sure they learn it very clearly. They should be able to tell it like this, but before going into that, let's just go through the table. I'm going to do 1 or 2 tables for you. Make sure you do it with all the tables. And I guess this is going to take 2 classes to teach all this multiplication. So if you need 2 classes, you just take 2 classes. Don't worry, but make sure they learn it perfectly. Now look at this first table. 1 times 0 is equal 0. 1 times 1 equals 1. You just make sure they learn it like this way. 1 times 0 equals 0. 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 times 2 equals 2. 1 times 3 equals 3. 1 times 4 equals 4. 1 times 5 equals 5. 1 times 6 equals 6. That means whatever you are multiplying with 1, it should remain the same number. Now if you go to this table of 2, like 2 times 0 equals 0. 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times 3 equals 6. 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 times 6 equals 12. 2 times 7 equals 14. 2 times 8 equals 16. 2 times 9 equals 18. 2 times 10 equals 20. See, here 2 are increasing. At each level I am going down. Now make sure students, they learn all these things from 1 to 10. All this multiplication table we are giving in this lecture sheet. But make sure after finishing that, they should be able to do it like this. 1 times 1 equals 1, 1 times 2 equals 2, 1 times 3 equals 3, like this. Or maybe this. 5 times 1 equals 5, 5 times 2 equals 10, 5 times 3 equals 15, 5 times 4 equals 20, 5 times 5 equals 25, 5 times 6 equals 30, 5 times 7 equals 35, 5 times 8 equals 40, 5 times 9 equals 45, 5 times 10 equals 50. They should be memorize it in this way. Obviously, you have got your own method in your own tongue, but make sure they learn it in English as well. But try to teach them in your native tongue first, because that would be pretty much easier for the student. Now, go to the last exercise section. Once you're done with all these things, you should go to this exercise section. Look at this. We have just given only 2 versions of table, like it's the table of 6 and it's the table of 7. In the first 6 tables, you just say 6 times 1 equals 6. How it is happening? 6 times 1 equals 6 means 1 6 equals 6. Now if you say 6 times 2, how we are getting it? It is the narrated version. That means 6 times 2 equals 12. So how we are getting it? The narrative version, the 6 plus 6 equals 12. That means we have got 2 arrays of 6. That's why we are getting the number 12. So it's just explanation. There are some gaps given. You ask the student to fill in the gaps and also do the multiplication here. That means 6 times 5 equals 30, right? What should be the explanation of 30? How many 6 we are adding? 5, 6, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. That should give us the 30. So if the student have understood the addition version or arrays or not, this would clarify you that if they have understood the all of these methods that you are teaching them.